We are blitzing with Blitch. Thanks to Wesley United Methodist Church for the food tonight for the team meal. How cool that is. We'll be back at St. Benedict's next week, and that blowout party at St. Benedict's is this weekend. Right. The carnival, the breakfast in Granny's Attic. Don't miss Granny's Attic. Most important thing here is these guys, and it was this guy's idea to put them together on Thursday nights, feed them a good meal, and Wesley United stepped up tonight.
Yeah, it's been awesome. They've got great atmosphere here and great hospitality. It's a really good time.
So, blitzing with Blitch, big game. Booker T.
Booker T.
All you got to do is say Booker T, and anybody in the state who knows athletics knows who you're talking about.
Yep.
And you came from Booker T.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about this school. What makes them such a athletic juggernaut?
It's just the history.
Years.
Just the history there. I mean, they've got more NFL guys, professional athletes come out of that school than the rest of the state. I mean, that's just what it is. They've got, whether it been NBA, NFL guys coming out of there. It's just the history, historic tradition they've got there. Everyone just knows who they are.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing about it.
Well, we got us some NFL guys, too. We know that. And we got some players in here that are chomping at the bit to go show the entire state that, you know what, we're for real. We're coming off, these are sophomores from an 0-13 season. They're really showing some grit throughout the early part of this season. What's the difference, Coach? What's making them so good this year, and why should Shawnee be out cheering them on?
Biggest thing I've tried to reiterate and let them know, every week this season so far is different so far has been them. I mean, it's the approach. Granted, we didn't have the spring and the summer when we got here last year. Like I said, I was at Booker T, stepped down there January before we could get over after contracts and stuff. Madonna I was end of May here, right around spring ball. So we didn't have a spring ball. We had one this year, but the year prior we didn't. So we did a lot of our install and stuff throughout the summer months, hitting that June, July window, and then we got right into it August. So, a lot of that was teaching on the fly and learning on the fly for a lot of them. So now this season we've had the entire off season. They're 2 years in the program, year and a half of them. They kind of know the ins and outs, the offense and defense, what we're trying to do here, the expectation, the culture's changed. And the biggest thing is they've changed. They understand that, we got to hold each other accountable, but also build each other up day in and day out. And that's a big thing for them. Where last year you kind of saw early, that overtime game, we ended up losing there in Seminole and double OT, just not used to learning how to win a football game. Mm-hmm. When the going got tough, sometimes we didn't understand that we got to rally together, be stronger together, united, than sometimes, too many voices going on, things like that. So we've had one good fallback this season, I think, for us has been them bonding, that camaraderie on and off the field for them, and figuring out a way to, win games. And that's been a big thing for us, a lot of bending, and not breaking this season. So that's been huge for us.
I have always said high school sports goes and flows with the coaches. It really does. It shows year after year after year. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your transition when you come from a program like Booker T and you get asked by Jason Madonna. He goes, hey, you're the one I want to run my defense. You made the choice to follow this guy. Why?
Well, originally I was looking, stepped down from Booker T in January. I knew I wanted to come back down this way. I was looking for jobs that spring. It's kind of the coaching cycle. My daughter was a senior here in high school. She was down there at Bristow. My son, he goes to Seminole State in the area. So I want to get down here, be closer to them for her senior year before she went off to school, what she ultimately did this fall. She's gone. So I want to look at this area, look at different spots, and Coach Madonna, reached out, spoke to him. We sat down for about 3 hours. That first time we came down and talked about it. Him obviously coming from Del City, me coming from Booker T. He was OC, I was DC, and just talked about, the potential Shawnee had and what we could do here and try to build this program up from the ground level, trying to get the middle school involved, get them kind of same system terminologies and philosophies of what we're trying to do. So, that was a big selling point. Not only, again, be close to here. My daughter, she worked here in Shawnee last year, first senior year of high school. So being able to be here in the town, around the kids, and also, what he sold me on was, that family first mentality and, the vision he had and stuff. So that was the big thing. There's just a lot of potential down here, right off I-40. I mean, you look out, you go out east of here, you got to go to you go McAllister over there for you get another big boy program, and then up in Tulsa, and then you got the teams out to the west. So between the OKC area where you got some 5, 6A big dogs, you got to go over to McAllister up to Tulsa up there if we find another program of our caliber and classification. So that's the locale and geographical location of it obviously is a big, strong selling point right off Route 40. The booming economy kind of got over here, a lot of things happening. And obviously we came in, tornado, which at the time was a tragedy, but it's kind of worked a blessing in disguise in the athletics department for what we've been able to do as far as getting our facilities upgraded and using some of that money we had off there, insurance money, bond money, and just everybody just bought in. The new AD that came in with Shawnee, strong vision for what they're trying to do athletically here. So it's having that buy-in, having the support system. Everybody's awesome in high school, Principal Johnson, everything. It's been a huge benefit for us to try to come in, that resource, I should say, to be able to have that on our side while we try to mold this vision of what we want this program to be. And it's been an awesome job. Coach Madonna's, led us into where we are now.
Out of the ashes. Remember, these guys took over after an 0-13 season. Now we go to Booker T with a chance to really step into the top slot of our district. Perhaps only one other team undefeated at that moment in district. We'll be back in a moment, and we will talk scheme about the Booker T offense after this.
Experience the wholesome goodness of St. Gregory's Abbey. Our monks raise healthy, pasture-raised beef, free from antibiotics and hormones. Available in the Monks Marketplace inside the front monastery doors every Tuesday through Saturday.
A&S Roofing. Quality roofing built to last. Dedicated to high-quality work, pays attention to the details. So get started on your roofing project today with A&S Commercial and Residential Roofing and Contracting. At McElroy and Owens Funeral Group, your loved one never leaves our care. From your first phone call at the time of loss through final resting, we are with you. Stop by McElroy and Owens for a visit today. Air Force One Heat and Air Conditioning offers competitive pricing, licensed technicians, and over 25 years of experience. Air Force One is a hometown company. Contact Tim or Terry Muirhead with Air Force One. Blitzin with Blitch. We are back at St. Paul's United Methodist, being hosted by Wesley United Methodist. It's a team effort, and you were talking earlier about family. You guys have really created a family environment with these guys leading into a game like Booker T. That's so important. Booker T on offense is going to be talented. Yes, you know that. Tell us what we're going to experience.
Yes, a lot of speed. I mean, there'll be, I think, of the teams we played, East Central had some athletic, talented guys. I think that Booker T is going to have speed equivalent to that. That's going to kind of match us, I think. We've got a lot of speed for Shawnee defense right here and our offensive players, our skill guys. So that'll be one thing just to see how we match that, personnel-wise. Got some key players over there. Got a good quarterback, Levi Brooks, awesome kid, really smart, put the ball on him. Keenan Farley, number one, big-time guy, got some D1 offers. He take the top off of defense. Got to watch out for him. Michael Washington, they call him Sweet Feet, number 3, smaller running back, scat back. He can get out there and move in space a little bit. Jordan House, tight end, about 6'3", about 210 probably. Go get it. Like, they've got some good size and talent, skill guys around the board. A couple young guys that are mixing in, so they're going to come out, get the ball in their playmakers' hands. Take some deep shots. Run outside zone, inside zone, a little bit of power here and there. So.
Well, when we talk about speed, your defense does have speed, and it all starts and finishes right there in the middle with Ryan High at the defense. How good is it having your senior leader back on the defense?
Oh, it's been awesome. I mean, having him back, it has that calming presence. Like you said, you never want to start the season, start the first few games without your, defensive captain, one of your senior captains. So it was a challenge at first, but I mean, we spoke about it, a few weeks ago about how we hoped again that'd be another Shawnee blessing in disguise, where we may have to create some typically unknown about depth and have to build that depth by getting some other guys on the field earlier than expected. And through that, we've had a lot of guys kind of step up, rise up to the occasion. We found some guys, hey, they're ready for Friday nights. They're some playmakers. So that's been a big thing for us, is having that added depth that we didn't have last year. Like I said, coming in, didn't know a lot of the guys, didn't have a long-term history with them. So kind of to see guys that they played, we didn't know what we had when we got here. Kind of feel them out, but this year we kind of already knew what we had players-wise, and had some unexpected surprises. Guys step in, Nolan Ward, some of those guys early, just as young guys, sophomores. A couple freshmen got going out there with Garrett McCurdy and Case Childers contributing. So that was the biggest thing, not having them and not having him back. He calms the guys. that's the biggest thing. Kind of extension of me on the field. Mike linebackers, the defensive captain. He knows the checks and calls. He spends a lot of time with me and the coaches, just understanding like, hey, what's the game plan, the vision we're trying to do for this opponent. We get this, what we want to do, and so he knows how to understand what to expect, what to look for, and then again, what we're looking to get into defensively so we can line guys up appropriately.
So one of the top defensive in 5A, I think you guys are ranked third in 5A overall defense,
Yes,
something
sir.
like that?
Yeah, right now, giving up last 3 weeks, giving up 9 points per game on the season. We're a little over 13, about 13 points per game. I think right now we're behind Dell City and Carl Albert the points per game. Doing pretty well. Like I said, yardage isn't where we'd want it to be right now. Had like a bend but don't break mentality. So we got to shore that up a little bit. Had a little bit of leakage where we wouldn't want it, but other than that, we've done a really good job on the red zone, third down, fourth down, things like that. About 22% on third down, about 29% on fourth down on the season. So we're getting off the field, and when teams do go forward, I think, including turnovers, turnover on downs are averaging like 5.25 per game, total turnovers. So we've done well. We need to, increase a little bit as far as stopping them early in some of these drives. I didn't like last week, had a couple like 8 to 12 play drives. I wish we could kind of shore that up a little bit, tighten down early, get off the field. A couple penalties didn't help us out last week, a lot of laundry on the field. So it wasn't something you want to see routinely out there, but that's been the biggest thing for us is clean up things a little bit, third down, just try to avoid as many penalties as we can, play smart football, and just turn it over every time we can, try to get off the field.
So as a fan, I'm watching tomorrow night. What do I anticipate from Booker T's offense? How are they going to try to attack you? How are they going to try to win that battle?
I think they're going to come out. They're going to try to take some shots, get the ball in the playmakers' hands, some screen action, use their speed on the edge out there, some outside zone, things of that nature. They got some heavy sets they ran last week with Durant, with their big boys on the D-line out there, 75-13. Try to do some power ball, running behind their big center guard, Derek Chambers, big boy. So they like to get behind him, try to dominate the trenches. So they had some success last week jumping in that first drive, Durant coming down the field in it. So it'll be interesting to see how much they jump into that, some bruiser ball, see if they want to come out there and bully ball us or if they want to come out and do a little speed. I think there'll be a good mix of both. And they'll take their shots when they feel they've got the opportunity, and they'll go try to stretch the field downfield with their vertical receivers. So,
well, when we talk big boy ball, Shawnee has some big boys out there too. When we come back, Blitzin with Blitch, we're going to talk about some of the players that you're going to be watching on the field tomorrow night. It's Sonic Good at all 4 of our Shawnee locations. Great food, great fun, the best hamburgers in town. Keeps everybody smiling. Parties or gatherings, there's room for everyone. It's always a good time, Sonic good time, at our Shawnee Sonics. Do you want an easy car buying experience? Castor Keys on Harrison. No hidden fees, no price gimmicks. Castor Key Auto Mart for a fair and convenient car buying experience. Hardesty Market in Delhi, a real butcher shop for over 80 years. Daily lunch specials just like Mom used to make. Best cuts of meat and even better people. Your family at Hardesty Market in Delhi. For 25 years, Eric's has served you and your family for all your prescription needs. Eric and his staff love the community and love seeing you in the store, conveniently located on North Pickup. Make your day brighter by visiting Eric's today.
For over 50 years, Fred's Tire and Battery has served Central Oklahoma with tires, batteries, and service for cars, trucks, and tractors. Friendly and affordable, with 2 locations in Shawnee. Fred's Tire and Battery, a name you can trust.
We are back, Blitzin with Blitch. Coach Mike Blitch. Mike, there's going to be a lot of talent on the field.
Yes,
and this year it has shown, and it shows on film for anybody who wants to see it, that you guys, on the defensive side, you have some two-way guys who can really play with anybody at any position. Let's talk a little bit about those leaders on your squad, Dayshaw, Dietrich Beavers, and also Lance Williams.
Yeah, they've just been staples for us out there. I mean, their attrition's been just something to really just be impressed by this year. Like, they don't come off the field. Dace and Deech are playing both ways the entire time, special teams, running backs out there doing split back sets, some receiver action. They're just playmakers. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Deach has been running that ball extremely hard the last few weeks. He's putting up close to 200 yards a night out there, touching the rock, toting it. Dace has, been that gadget guy. Coach McDonald's moved around, got the ball in his hands in different ways out of the backfield, running the ball out, split out wide. So that's been awesome for him. And like I said, they don't come off the field on defense. Playing special teams, going down, playing some gunner action, kickoff, return. They're return guys. So, they're the beating heart for us. And then Lance has been incredible in his punts this year. He's leading the state right now in punt yardage. Averaging about 43 yards per kick or something like that. I mean, he's flipping the field for us week in, week out. Every time we get a chance, we can't get it going offensively. He's making sure we make up for it by flipping that field over, pinning them deep. Gunner's doing an awesome job down there. Garrett McCurdy, we saw Player of the Week here about 2 weeks ago, down there pinning that ball deep, making sure we get a chance. We get out there in defense. It's a long drive for them. They got to go the length of the field to turn into points. So.
And somebody we haven't mentioned last week, Cho, the defensive player of the game. Talk a little bit about him.
Keaton Chapman, sophomore, he's going to have a huge career. I mean, he's a massive stature kid. I mean,
he's got a lot of confidence, too.
Yeah, he does. He believes in it. I mean, he's 6'3", 225, pushing 230, can move. Used to be a tight end back in the day, playing a little defensive end, put him inside the nose, dropped him back into coverage last week, little robber action. He dropped back there and threw the pick right to him on the slant route, so.
And he caught it.
He did.
It was nothing.
That's that. You typically don't want to drop defensive linemen, but when you have a guy that athletic who used to be a tight end, we kind of had a feeling what they may do. So, made a little adjustment, sink him back there, slip him in. He caught the ball. He wishes he had scored on it. Got about 15, 20. He thought he was going to go 80 for it, but, a little bigger than he used to be in his tight end days. But, no, he's been awesome for us. Like I said, we've got a lot of multi-dimensional, multifaceted guys on both sides of the ball that can put a lot of positions. we put Lance at defensive end last week. Get an extra pass rush. I mean, he's one of the strongest guys, pound for pound. He's started the season at corner, played some linebacker, played defensive end the other week. So try to get creative, put guys in position to have success best we can.
And somebody that we don't mention enough of, certainly a leader in the family aspect of this squad, but also one of the most talented players on the field on either side of the ball. And he has stepped in on defense, and that's Ejon Thomas.
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, my gosh. He has stepped up at cornerback.
He has. He's been flying around out there. We've been playing him in that corner spot, little Rob backer for us, using him in some unique ways. He's been extremely aggressive this year and been awesome. I mean, he's flying around, flying to the ball. Very, very few effort loaf plays. We chart our grades and stuff like that. He's usually one of those guys that's up in the high 90s as far as effort level, game in, game out. So, like I said, playing both ways. Making sure he's taking care of his body, hydrating. Making sure he does his rehab and treatment best he can, week in, week out, so he can make sure his body's ready to go. He's been a playmaker on offense and on defense.
No off plays for him. We talk about receivers. You would think that, but our receivers this year have been blocking as well as I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're doing an awesome job this year. It's locking up on the perimeter, making sure we can get outside leverage out there, riding those guys out of bounds when they have a chance, and letting us get at the outside on the edge of the defense there for offensive guys. Dace with Deach got a lot of yards out there.
Well, Coach Blitch, this is the time. It's your invite time. You get to invite everybody for the trip to Tulsa for your homecoming. No. BTW.
Yes, sir. Come on out, man. Come out, support us. It's going to be an awesome game for us. Big district matchup. Two teams, 1-0. I think it's only 1-0 district matchup this week in our classification out there. So it's going to be a big-time game. Some implications down the road.
No better entertainment value than high school sports. Get on up to Tulsa next week. I'm going to go visit my friend Ron Horton, Shawnee graduate, 1982. He's been teaching at Booker T. Washington for 20 years. He's just an old man now. But we're going to go, we'll eat before the game and go out and enjoy the game. So we invite everybody to come up. Remember, guys, all of us, together, we build community one season at a time. Coach Mike Blitch, thank you, as always, for sharing with us.
Yes, sir.